Today we're making these cute sheep cupcake. Sheepso. They are so easy. There's like no piping tips required, and look how cute this is. Do you see this face? How could you say no to this face? I can't say no to you. Let's get started. Before we even make the cupcakes, let's deal with those sheep heads. They're fondant, so they have to dry out a bit first. We're gonna roll out a thin layer of black fondant, and you can either use like a teardrop shape or this weird little flower cutter I'm using to cut the sheep's heads out. If you don't have any cutters that are the right size, just cut them out with a little knife. It'll be totally fine. You just want to end up with a little oval shape, which is why I'm trimming away the excess because I have a weird shaped cutter too. After the little heads are all cut out, go ahead and set them aside, and now let's cut out some tiny teardrop shapes for the ears. They can be little ovals, even little circles if you want. You could even cut them by hand once again. Set those aside, and now let's assemble those faces. Make two little indents for the nose. I'm just using a pointy tool that I happen to have, but you can use a knife or whatever you'd like, even a toothpick. Dab a little bit of water to attach the ears, and just press gently. And then dab a little bit more water and place those candy eyes. You can get candy eyes online or at the supermarket. They're a little bit expensive, so if you don't have them, maybe some white chocolate chips upside down would work too. And by the way, if you hate fondant, you could totally use modeling chocolate for this. This is one of the few projects I use fondant for, I swear. Repeat that process over and over and over again until you have all the little sheep faces you need, and you can set them aside. You can do this a day or two in advance because the drier they are, the better they are for assembling. You don't want like a droopy face that's falling apart. This batter is super quick. We're starting off by mixing all of the wet ingredients except the sugar. So that's 1/2 cup of buttermilk into a large bowl, get it all out. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use regular milk and just add in like a tablespoon or two of vinegar or lemon juice. It'll curdle the buttermilk and add that acid that is what you're looking for. 1/4 cup of sour cream, 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 2 large eggs, 1, 2. We're gonna give this a quick whisk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla-ish, and 1/4 cup of hot coffee, maybe a little bit extra. The rest is for me. Okay, mix that up, set it aside, and now onto our dry ingredients. For the dry ingredients, I'm adding in 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. That is 180 grams. Wait, where's my scale? How can I measure 180 grams without a scale? 180 grams of flour. There we go. Wasn't that easy? 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, 1 1/3 cups of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda for leavening. There you go. Sift it out. No lumps for me. And now let's whisk all those ingredients together. This can go right onto the stand mixer with a paddle attachment, and we're almost done. This smells really good. All we're gonna do now is pour it in while this is mixing on low. Don't splatter on me. My batter is all done. As you can see, it's very liquidy, but that's fine. It's a super, super moist chocolate cake that's gonna happen here. And pop some cupcake papers in of your choice. It's kind of a tongue twister. I had just enough. I'm very excited about that. Look at that, 12. I'm using an ice cream scooper to get an equal amount of batter in, but you can use whatever method you'd like. I'm super messy. I'm just gonna be upfront about that. So this is my lifesaver. Otherwise, I'd have batter all over the place, which you've seen if you watch my videos. Don't forget to subscribe. So, whoa, look at that. This recipe makes about 18 cupcakes, and my first batch is ready to go into the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes or until the centers are set. While those are baking up, I'm gonna be making my buttercream super fast, really easy. 1 pound of butter into a standing mixer. This is like a really easy breezy American buttercream, but if you want a slightly less sweet, actually very less sweet, but much creamier buttercream, you could make an Italian buttercream. Click up here for that, or a Swiss buttercream. Click up here for that. There are a couple more steps, but they're actually really easy. You can do them with your eyes blindfolded once you get the hang of it, and you will get the hang of it the first time if you watch those videos. Okay, let's cream this up. Now I will be adding in about 1.5 pounds of confectioner's sugar. So just add a little bit in first. And by a little, I mean several cups. Okay. And now we're gonna mix it on low. Let's see if it clouds up. Nice. Add some more sugar in and repeat until you have a consistency and flavor you're happy with. I'll also be adding in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Really gives that sweetness a nice little contrast. Add in a splash of vanilla. I ended up with 1.3 pounds of sugar in there, and I'm just gonna transfer this to a piping bag and snip the tip off of it. The piping is really like a behind the scenes situation. You don't even need a piping bag. You could just smear some of the buttercream on and stick those marshmallows right on top. Close it up and we'll set it aside for later. Get a bag of mini marshmallows and cut the tips off of the marshmallows. You're only doing this so they'll be sticky because we want them to adhere to the cupcake and not fall off after you spent all this time assembling these cute little sheep. After all of your marshmallows are cut up, and this is a great project for kids to help with, by the way, pipe on a big swirl of that vanilla buttercream. It doesn't have to look pretty, it's gonna be completely covered. Now we add our little mini marshmallows one by one over and over again until the surface is completely marshmallowy. You can press them in, they move around a bit, you want them to be nice and stable. Place a little dollop of buttercream onto the back of your sheep face and then stick it onto the body and then repeat this process over and over again. This sheep didn't make the cut. I'm sorry, sheepsy, I'm sorry. Let's see, put that face aside because I don't eat faces, but I will eat the cupcake. Who knew that marshmallows and buttercream and chocolate cupcakes would work well together? I don't know, no idea. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe. If you have any questions or comments, I love hearing from you. Leave them below. You can follow me on @Preppy Kitchen on Instagram, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.